Hello, my name is Mengran Guo. I'm a data scientist from Global Data Analytics in the Department Harm Reduction and Engagement of Imperial Brands. This presentation explores projections of the potential impact of a flavor ban in the UK using a dynamic population model.
EVP are considered as a potentially risk-reduced alternative to smoking. However, many countries are suggesting banning flavored e-liquids, raising an important question: what could a flavor ban mean for public health? To address this, we used UK smoking and vaping prevalence data from the Office for National Statistics, which we integrated into a dynamic population model considering various behavioral scenarios.
Let's start with the simplest and natural scenario. We assume that all flavored EVP users just switch to no flavored ones. Since nothing really changes in terms of overall use, we call this the static scenario. The second scenario is more optimistic. It assumes that all flavored EVP users stop vaping entirely. The third is the pessimistic scenario. Here, all flavored EVP users switch to smoking instead. And finally, to build a more realistic picture, we model a mixed scenario where users follow a combination of these three paths but in different proportions. In this figure, we show projections from our TPM under different scenarios for current vapers. From 2014 to 2022, we use observed UK prevalence data. And from 2023, we assume that a flavor ban has been implemented. In the static scenario, the trend remains unchanged since users simply switch to no-flavored products. In both optimistic and pessimistic scenarios, the prevalence of current vapers declines, but not for the same reasons. The realistic scenario provides a range of intermediate prevalences for current vapers, reflecting a mix of outcomes. We run the same analysis across all user categories, including both vapers and smokers. All these prevalence rates are then used to feed an advanced health model, which estimates the relative mortality of each scenario compared to the status quo. In this figure, we show the relative mortality impact of the different scenarios compared to the status quo. Based on the realistic scenario, we observe that flavor ban could negatively affect mortality in 96% of cases. Using the same approach, we can also predict the relative incidence of smoking-related diseases for each scenario compared to the status quo. The model allows us to estimate the probabilities of increased risk for developing lung cancer, stroke, and ischemic heart disease due to the implementation of a flavor ban. In the realistic scenario, we found that in about 84% of cases, the flavor ban could lead to an increased frequency of these diseases. Our model shows that flavor ban on EVP could hinder tobacco harm reduction by limiting smokers' transition to less harmful alternatives. Most scenarios indicate increased mortality and higher risks of smoking-related diseases, highlighting the importance of flavors in helping adult smokers switch from combustion products and reducing relapse rates. However, the model had some limitations. Its scope is limited to adults. It's specific to the UK and assumes that the regulatory and environmental factors remain unchanged during the prediction period. Despite these limitations, the model shows strong potential as a regulatory tool, helping decision-makers assess the impact of policies on public health outcomes. Thank you for your attention. I'd like to acknowledge my colleagues at Imperial Brands. To learn more about Imperial Brands science, please use the link on the slide. Here is my conflict of interest statement.